Welcome back to the Sports Zone. Joining us now is the Reflector sports editor, James Carskadden. Thanks for being with us, James. So, what's your opinion on the 2011 Bulldogs?
Well, I think it'll definitely be an interesting season. There's obviously a lot of high expectations, and there's maybe some more holes in the team than people would imagine. Cornerback, I think, like Lewis said, might be a little bit overrated at times. Sure, they have a lot of experience. When you look at the stats, they didn't quite compare as well to some of the other teams in the SEC. But you also look at Chris Relf. He did develop into a monster of a quarterback towards the end of last season. It'll be interesting to see what all he's able to accomplish in another year in the system, and if he can, because last year I thought he had reached his ceiling going into the season, and part of me wants to think the same this year, but he very well could prove me wrong again.
James, do you think he's the best dual threat quarterback in the SEC?
Well, with Jordan Jefferson facing the legal problems he is, I think he very well could be.
So, James, what do you think the MSU Bulldogs can do to improve their performance for this year?
Well, a lot of them will ride on the linebackers, obviously. It's hard to replace 3 starters, and a lot of people thought Brandon May would just come in and start right away. But as we learned in the last couple of weeks, it'll be Brandon Wilson, who is a former walk-on, starting at middle linebacker. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But the defensive line, if they can improve on what they did last season, it could make for a very interesting team to stop.
Now, you mentioned that the team has probably a few more holes to fill than meets the eye. So obviously you're going to have new players stepping into new roles. Who are some players right now that we may not know about that may become household names by the end of the season?
I think redshirt freshman Jamion Lewis could be an interesting person to watch. He's very fast, might not see him much at receiver, but he'll definitely make an impact in the return game, I think.
All right.
Thanks for coming by, James. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at some other stories on the national college football landscape.